strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is Bulldog here, and today I'm going to talk about something that's popped up in my live streams quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, and that is player staking. And it's something that I've realized that a lot of people don't actually know anything about. I've referenced it a bunch. People ask, what is player staking? What do you mean by that? Because it's something that we were all super excited about it when it was announced, what, a year and a half ago, when the white paper was first announced. It was in the very first version of the white paper. And it still isn't here, but we've had a lot of people either forgotten about it, or we've had just new people come into the economy, come into the game that have never known about it to start with. So I wanted to kind of talk about it and how it is an absolute game changer. We hear win land all the time, right? That's the kind of the big promise, the big project that when was that? From 2-3 years ago? Been quite a while. That hasn't arrived yet, that everybody wants win land. But there is something even bigger that hasn't made its way here yet. Player staking is absolutely huge, and in my opinion, player staking is the big missing piece from the economy that honestly fixes everything. When that gets here, it is going to be an absolute game changer for a number of reasons, and I can't wait for it. So let's go in and let's kind of talk about what this is. What is player staking? So player staking is a different way of staking SPS that will impact your R shares or your reward points. So this is the current calculation for R shares. I guess we want to let's actually back up a step farther. What are R shares? What are R points? When you win a battle, you get these RP reward points. That determines two things. It determines the number of SPS that you get. That is essentially your percentage of reward points that you earn in a day. You will get a percentage of the SPS pool for your league that is equivalent to that percent of the reward shares. So the more you earn relative to your league, the more SPS you get. It's also used, let's come over here. It's also used for your chest. When you get a chest here, so we'll go back to the beginning. These are my daily chests. So for every 112,000, these are focus points, but those are based on your reward shares, your reward points that you're getting. You get your daily chest. It's also the same for season chest. You get your season points. So those are essentially the same, but they count towards your season chest. So you earn your daily chest, your season points. Those are not relative to your league. You earn those just based on the number of raw points that you get. Although the SPS that is in those chests is relative. There's a fixed SPS pool, so the amount per chest is relative to the number of chests that the league is getting. So your SPS rewards are all relative to how much you're earning per your league. The amount of cards you get is not necessarily. But if we come back here, so the R shares is based on your rating, your ECR, bonuses that you get. Again, if we come back, we can see like bonuses like. Here was plus 50% for focus. I must have had an earth focus here. Bonus for using a promo card. You get bonus for gold cards, win streaks, all of that, those bonuses. What's not included over here is penalties. This apparently hasn't been updated. Oh, it kind of talks about it down here for the starter card penalties. But there's also low level penalties now. So then you've got your penalties in there. Those are all factored into R shares. But there is one piece that is missing. If we go over to the white paper here, so if I can find it, here it is. Here's the white paper. This is supposed to be in place, and it is not entered the equation yet. Now, this will before I start, this 1,000 again it says down here is a placeholder. So this number is not necessarily finalized. They will have to use something else here. We'll see, but it's there to kind of give an example, which we'll see here in a second. So your reward shares are supposed to be then multiplied by this formula that takes your staked SPS into account. So you are supposed to have SPS staked on you. Now again, you can stake it on you yourself, or you can have somebody else that has staked SPS to stake it on you. But you are supposed to have staked SPS on you to get any reward shares at all. Again, I'm going to repeat that. You're supposed to have SPS staked on you to get any reward shares at all, to get any rewards in the game at all. And it's designed so that there's diminishing returns. So that's kind of what this plus 1,000 is designed to give, diminishing returns. So if we use the 1,000 as an example, if you stake 1,000 SPS on, if there is 1,000 SPS staked on you, I shouldn't say if you stake because it can be somebody else staking on you. If you have 1,000 SPS stake, you get half of your reward shares. If you double that to 2,000, you'll get 2/3 of your reward shares. If you double it again to 4,000, you'll get 80% of your reward shares. So you can kind of see how there's diminishing returns as that all goes up, right? And again, keep in mind, I say half of your reward shares, but the SPS that you earn from those battles, from those reward shares, is relative to your league. So if on average the whole league is getting half of their reward shares, then you'll see the same amount of rewards, right? But the point is that if you need SPS staked on you, that is a big game changer because it drives utility to SPS. In my opinion, this is the biggest utility for SPS. And we are a year and a half into SPS and we still do not have the biggest utility out there. We essentially have no utility for SPS. I know people disagree with that a little bit. Yes, there's some. You can get staking reward, like just flat rate staking rewards. You can participate in the liquidity pool. It allows you to participate in tournaments. There are some other things. You can buy Rift Watchers. But in general, players playing the game, just your average player, when they get their SPS, their staked SPS, they have no reason to really hold on to it. Most of them are selling their SPS, not because they don't believe in the game, not because they don't believe in the token, or because they're trying to extract value. They're selling their SPS so they can go buy more cards, if nothing else. We need a reason for players to want to keep SPS, to go out and acquire more SPS. And that reason is already built in from the very beginning, from the very first white paper. It's just not here yet. It's just not here yet. And I mean, the reason that it's not here is because this is something that validators are supposed to handle. The SPS token is controlled by the DAO, controlled by the validators, and those validator nodes still have to be built out. They've been delayed. They've taken a little longer. They have been a priority. They have absolutely been one of, if not the single highest priority that the Splinterlands teams has been working on. It's something brand new that nobody's ever done before. Nobody's built that on Hive into a game before. And there's been some delays that have taken longer than they expected. But it is being worked on. We just don't know when it's actually going to be here. But this is so huge. Driving utility to the token impacts the entire game. Impacts the entire game. Makes all the rewards worth more, which will drive up the value of cards. It is an absolute game changer. And when people ask me, the reason this has been coming up in the live streams quite a bit lately is that people have been asking me, what's my opinion on the game? Like, why do I think, or what do I think is happening long term? Is SPS going to go up, down, whatever the case is? Am I selling out? Am I still a believer? And the answer is pretty much always, I'm actually kind of bearish short term. Well, when player staking gets here, I am very, very bullish, and it's going to be like a switch flips in my mind. That is absolutely huge. Player staking and then land. I think player staking is the biggest factor, is the what's most needed, but land's going to have a huge impact too. But when we get those two things, I think we're taking off. And I haven't been selling out, and I mean, maybe there's an opportunity here where you could sell out now and buy back in right before player staking gets here. But it's hard when we don't know when that's going to be. They could come out like 3 weeks from now. They could come out and say, okay, next update, player staking's here, and everybody that's sold out trying to buy back in later just they just timed it terribly. So I'm pretty sure that I would not be able to time it right, and so I'm long term, I feel great, so I'm just kind of holding on to everything, accepting that we might go down in the short term some more still. But I'm very excited about what things will look like when this player staking does get here. And not only because of the economy, but I also believe this is a huge factor just for for people like me, for engagement with streamers. And that's great because it drives more publicity to the game. It gets players more excited about the game. Because when you have players staking, you're going to be able to stake on other players, right? When I'm live streaming, you can come stake on me and you can win SPS whenever I win. Whenever I make a bad play, you can yell at me in chat and get upset because I just cost you SPS. It is to me, it's kind of the equivalent, if we look at traditional sports, it's the equivalent of sports betting or fantasy sports. Those drive a ton of engagement to the game. So many people watch games that they would otherwise have zero interest in just because they want to see how many points their fantasy team scores. They want to see if their bet wins, whatever the case is. This is going to be kind of like that, and it's going to drive a lot of utility. If we come over here, like let's come back here. Like, you can even give me some opportunities. Players may also choose to limit the players who may stake on them. So, like, I've got my Darth Squirrel collection, right? Have you guys come by my live stream to win a Darth Squirrel yet? I could set it so that only players who have a Darth Squirrel can actually stake on me. Like, because there's also diminishing returns for those people who stake on a player, the more that is staked on that player. So it's not always going to be best to always stake on the top player, because if everybody does that, they get diminishing returns because those rewards are shared with everybody who is staking on them. So, like, somebody like, obviously I'm pretty popular with live streams. I'm up playing at the top of the game. There's probably going to be a lot of people fighting to stake on me. I could potentially limit that without hurting myself too much. It hurt a little bit if I'm not letting everybody stake on me, because for me personally, the more that stake, the better, right? Because I get a higher percent of my rewards. So I want as many people to stake on me as possible. But there's probably people out there that want to stake on me, but the returns aren't very good because maybe I'm popular or something like that. So I could cut it down to only people that have a Darth Squirrel, or only supporters that are subbed on my Twitch, or whatever the case is. So I'm not saying I will do that, but I'm just saying there's potential for interactions between streamers and viewers, and that is a very, very good thing. It drives popularity to the game. It could potentially drive other content creators to come in and seeing, oh wow, Bulldog's making a lot playing Splinterlands because of all the SPS that's staked on him. Maybe I should go and stream the game as well, because I've got a large audience that could potentially get into the game and stake SPS on me, or whatever the case is. So I just think that could be huge for the game in terms of engagement as well. But it's really the economy part that I am super, super excited about, and I feel like it's kind of the last missing piece. I shouldn't say it's the last missing piece. It's a major piece that is still missing. And again, this was here from the beginning. This entire economy was designed with this in mind, okay? If this was here from the start, I don't think we're anywhere near 3 cent SPS right now. We would have demand from the very, very beginning, and it wouldn't just be people buying, speculating on price and trying to get staking rewards and all of that. They would be buying so they could get their battle rewards, because they want to play the game. And I really think we have a different outcome right now if this was actually in there from the very beginning, because again, this, in my opinion, is the utility, the biggest utility that was designed into the game. Yes, it's called a governance token. I don't think most players really care about governance, especially like maybe a lot of whales do. Your average player doesn't even have enough SPS to really get involved in governance and have a huge say anyways. This is why they want SPS. This is why they want to get involved. So I've said that 1,000 times, but hopefully I've beaten it to death. Hopefully I've kind of gotten the point through. Whenever I say that I am extremely bullish on Splinterlands, once player staking gets here, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. This is the ultimate utility where you have to have SPS staked on you in order to get rewards. So I don't know. How many of you, this is brand new information? Sorry, I'm channeling my Phoebe from Friends. But yeah, I think a lot of older players maybe kind of forgot about this. A lot of newer players probably never even knew about it. And land gets all the attention, but this is really the thing on the roadmap that needs to get here, and I wish would get here soon. And you know what? And they've said the reason this isn't here yet is because they're building it into the validators. They didn't want to just build it into the game with Splinterlands controlling this, only to have to turn around and develop it a different way into the nodes, and they have to do work twice. I understand they want to be efficient. I understand they don't want to do work twice. If nodes are still going to be a long ways off, then I feel like they just need to get this in the game. Just get it in the game, and you have to build it twice. You have to build it twice. Like in hindsight, this should have been one of the first things that they built in. Again, if you have to build it twice, so what? It's so big. It's so essential to this economy that I feel like we just need to get it here ASAP. And hopefully those nodes are very, very close to being done. We were told they would be here before the end of the year. Obviously, a lot's changed. There's been the team's gotten smaller. There's been a lot of changes there. So it doesn't look like it's getting here. We do have one more update left before the end of the year, but I'm pretty sure this is not included in it. I'm pretty sure it's not getting here next year. But hopefully it's not too far off. So I'll be interested to see if they start providing more updates on this. Maybe if in one of the town halls they can give an update of whether this is, are we looking at 1 month? Are we looking at 3 months, 6 months? I have no clue. I know it's been a priority, but it hasn't seemed like it's been that close to being done just because we haven't seen a lot of hype on it, but I'm not sure. So anyways, do you guys agree with me? Will this fix the economy? I'm also waiting for all the comments that say, oh, this is going to be for a game for whales only when you have to have SPS to earn any. Just hits the free-to-play player even more. I'm sure we'll see some of those comments. I'm sure we'll also have some third parties that are designed to optimally stake your SPS on players. So if we have players out there that are good and maybe have good cars but don't have SPS, I bet staked SPS will find them as people look for the maximum return for their staking rewards. And I bet there'll be third parties that are there to automate that and help manage that, things like that. So I think good players who don't have SPS will still find SPS staked on them. But it's going to be interesting. And then that might take some time to develop. I don't know how quickly those tools can be put in place. We don't know. It says there'll be no time restrictions, but I feel like you've got to have some cooldowns or it could be exploited. People would just move them around to whoever's playing at the time. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the details on what this is like when it gets here. But the bottom line is it needs to get here for the value of the SPS token, and then everything else revolves around that value. So yes, I'm guessing we'll see some comments about, oh, it's just more pay to win. But I mean, the game is pay to win. Let's be honest. The game is pay to win. It is being a play to earn game. It kind of has to be in a way. And this is just going to be part of it. So just absolutely going to be part of it. It needs to be part of it just for the long-term sustainability of the game. So it's coming. It's going to be here. The question is just soon and the exact details around it. But I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait. I hope you guys are catching my live streams. Even though you can't stake on me yet, make sure you go sub to the channel, hit that alert button, come to my Discord, turn on the alerts, go sub on Twitch. We're playing a lot of not only Splinterlands, Marvel Snap. We've been playing a lot of Gala games, Spider Tanks, Superior. So many fun games. SCG Football. There are so many fun games I'm streaming. Make sure you're not just here on YouTube. Go over to Twitch as well for some of that other content. I'll be seeing you guys over there. Thanks once again.